What are we called?
Murder boner? Toothed vagina.
Give me the baby! Give me the baby! Yummy, yummy, yummy! Give me the baby! I want the baby! I eat the baby! Yummy, 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 yummy! Give me the baby! I want to eat the baby!
Oh, excuse me. Do you have a moment for human babies?
Wake up! Wake up! All of you! Wake up! Who's feeding on the children?
Discovery in Ireland. A mass grave of children has been found at a site that was once a Catholic orphanage. Nuns ran the home where thousands of unmarried mothers were forced to stay as punishment. Many of the women were able to leave after serving their time. Their children were left behind.
With a big tattoo on her throat.
What happens in the church?
And we do baby sacrifice and eat the baby.
What do you mean sacrifice and eat the baby?
So we kill the baby and eat it and drink the blood from it.
Is that true, Gabriel?
Yes. And we dance with the skulls.
You what?
We dance with the skulls in the church.
What skulls?
Skulls of the baby.
What happened to the pregnancies, to the babies?
They were aborted by my nan or by one of the doctors at the house.
There were doctors there at that house?
Yeah, there was two, I think. Yeah, and a nurse.
What would happen to the fetuses, the unborn babies?
I used to be taken away most of the time, and one time the baby was taken out of me and then killed in front of me because it was still alive.
And then, what would happen?
Well, after they killed it, they would eat it. But we were also made to eat it.
You were made to eat your own fetus?
Yeah.
Who made you do this?
My nan.
Now to Canada, where horrors from a different era have returned to haunt the country. Another mass grave of children has been unearthed. School children. And this is the third one since May. 182 unmarked graves have been found in British Columbia. More than 1,000 mass graves have been found in Canada. The findings have led to an angry backlash. But neither the Justin Trudeau government nor the Catholic Church wants to take responsibility.
Give me the baby! Give me the baby! Yummy, yummy, yummy! Give me the baby! I want the baby! I eat the baby! Yummy, 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 yummy! Give me the baby! I want to eat the baby!
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them.
Don't tell me our avenging angel is a former nun.
It's deeper than that. Turns out Michaela was a young, unwed mother, practically a deadly sin to some back then. Her parents all but disowned her. The convent took in hundreds of similar cases like this at that time. There have been investigations into places like this all over Europe. She would have been kept like a prisoner for the length of her pregnancy, and when she finally gave birth, she would have been forced to give the baby up for adoption.
They took her baby.
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them.
Hello, Imperial Dragon Restaurant? I've got a herd of you-know-what's for sale.
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them.
I'm absolutely outraged by what we're allowing to happen to our children. These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them.
They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, bull. You know, why not? They're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years from the United States. These children were food. And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's tough. That's tough.
Give me the baby! Give me the baby! Yummy, yummy, yummy! Give me the baby! I want the baby! I eat the baby! Yummy, 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 yummy! Give me the baby! I want to eat the baby!
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them, or we trafficked them. We gifted them, or we sold them.
Hello, Imperial Dragon Restaurant? I've got a herd of you-know-what's for sale. Let me check. Oh, aren't you a cutie? About 35 pounds. What? What?
Hi, Bender. We'd like to adopt a child.
Well, you come to the right place, because Honest Bender's Orphanarium means discount orphans. Now, little lady, what do I have to do to send you home with 12 orphans today?
I'm afraid we only want one.
Whatever you say, Chief. I'll show you what I got in stock.
I remember this from when we were kids. The warden would trot you out in front of prospective parents, and they'd judge you like a piece of meat.
I'm Albert.
You're under arrest for child cruelty, child endangerment, depriving children of food, selling children as food, and misrepresenting the weight of livestock.
Which is, humans are not protecting themselves. They're not protected. And so if you don't warn them, you're culpable.
The next time somebody gets snatched and eaten or taken away, or their child, and I'm more concerned about the children, obviously, than anything else.
That's that's it. Well, that's what.
And so that's my statement. My statement is, I care about the children, and I want to protect the children. How can you protect a child? You must tell them. You must tell their parents what's happening, what's really going on this planet.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. I like to eat children. Yummy, yum, yum. I am Draco, and I control your government, and you make wars for me. I get about 1 million people each year harvested from your war zones, so I can feed off your children and sell the rest to a vast galactic slave trade that uses humans for labor and food, and you taste so good. Yummy, yum, yum.
This 4-part documentary will center around Ukraine and Ukraine's child trafficking operation. And this is not just 10 kids, 100 kids, more than 10,000 kids, at least in Ukraine, sold off to be, quote, harvested. Yes, harvested, the words they use. Those are the words they use, not mine. Those are the words they use. And they take advantage of these situations, war zones, hurricanes, earthquakes, etc.
World War II was an extraterrestrial war fought for human bodies.
Was there is there sex trafficking like that in outer space now? Yeah. Humans are used for food. They're used for building things. The slaves, for sex slaves. There is many things that you could sit back and imagine. That's what's occurring.
6 years on from the discovery of 800 babies' bodies in sewage tanks under a former mother and baby home in the Irish town of Tuam, and a state commission to investigate what really happened still has yet to report. But Tuam seems to be the tip of the iceberg. This is Shanross Abbey. Like all such homes, women who'd become pregnant out of marriage were ordered to come here and surrender their babies to the nuns for adoption.
Turned over the sod and I just noticed lots of small bones. Turned over the sod and I just noticed lots of small bones.
The nuns claim 269 babies died here, the last in 1994. Yet official records say the actual figure is over 1,000. So where are they?
I want the baby. I eat the baby. Yummy, 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 yummy. Give me the baby. I want to eat the baby.
We've established the existence of a burial pit for unbaptized children whose deaths aren't recorded anywhere, and it's believed a sewage tank has been laid in the Angels' plot as well. It's an echo of what happened at Tuam. That's another home, Bessborough. A confidential Irish Health Service document showed just how many infants died in the care of the nuns. In 1 year, the death rate was 82%. 900 babies died here, yet only 64 are recorded. The nuns say they can't remember where the rest are.
I want the baby. I eat the baby. Yummy, 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 yummy. Give me the baby. I want to eat the baby.
For the relatives, the idea that the remains of thousands of children are scattered around Ireland shouldn't really be a matter for a civil commission of inquiry at all. It should be something for these people, the police. There were 14 mother and baby homes in Ireland. Our investigation has raised concerns about a number of them, but by no means all. The Irish State Commission has an opportunity to reveal the truth about what happened throughout the 20th century, with all the implicit criticism of the role of the Catholic Church in society.
We took their babies, and we gifted them, or we sold them, or we trafficked them, to the point of their disappearance. From our hearts and from our sight, from our country, and in the case of Tuam, possibly other places, from life itself.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real.
Images of that rotating thing captured by U.S. Navy aircraft, sensors locking in on the target. Commander David Fravor saw it firsthand during a training mission, describing it like a 40-foot-long tic-tac, maneuvering rapidly and changing direction.
This was extremely abrupt, like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. The ability to hover over the water and then start a vertical climb from basically zero up towards about 12,000 feet and then accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life.
But it was run by a military intelligence official who told CNN they found compelling evidence that we, quote, may not be alone. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.
The U.S. Navy just made a stunning admission. Naval officials yesterday confirmed that 3 separate UFO videos released by the New York Times in 2017 and previewed on the show are actually genuine. They do, in fact, show aerial phenomena the Navy cannot explain, and that, in fact, our understanding of physics cannot explain. There's obviously some reason they're not telling us. In 15 seconds, hypothesize as to what that reason might be.
Well, some secret too terrible to be told, but I think we should be told, or at least we should be hinted at.
Hello, my name is Gaborkulax the Empath, and I'm the founder of Zarnaps for the Ethical Treatment of Humans. When we Zarnaps discovered Earth 10 sun cycles ago, we were horrified at the way humans abuse the other animals in this planet, and we pledged to do better. But some Zarnaps started eating a few humans here, a few humans there, and before you know it...
When your seven stomachs are a-grumbling, don't reach for the Quesnar fruit. Grill up some fresh human, then you know what to do. You and me, great family dinner.
Millions of humans are exploited every year in Zarnap Industries. It's big business now.
Multi-million-dollar operation. Terry's making money off of it. The hospitals are making money off of it. The middlemen are making money off of it. And we talk about money. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar operation.
We had witnesses of disappearances, people who'd been examined and then had disappeared, busloads, entire prison wards which had been emptied out. And the signs began to look like something much, much bigger. Witnesses of disappearances, people who'd been examined and then had disappeared, busloads, entire prison wards which had been emptied out. And the signs began to look like something much, much bigger.
The disturbing footage appears to show hundreds of detainees in Western China bound and blindfolded. CNN's Matt Rivers spoke with 2 former detainees who described the abuses they say they faced in similar camps.
Row by row, there are hundreds of them, seated on the ground, heads shaved, blindfolded. Their hands are bound behind their backs as dozens of guards hover in SWAT uniforms. It's unclear who these prisoners are, but Western intelligence sources tell CNN they believe the video is authentic, that it shows Muslim ethnic minorities, and that the video was shot in Xinjiang, China.
Taking action for you. And first to 60 investigation of a business deal that deals in human body parts shifting from Detroit to Chicago as the feds launch a new raid.
And once again, hundreds of families will be left wondering if the bodies of loved ones have been bought and sold on the black market.
7 Action News investigator Jim Kirshner is here tonight with a story you'll see only on Set of Jim.
Oh, excuse me, miss. Do you have a moment for human babies?
I have to get to work.
Just 1 second, just here.
Humans used for food are kept in rows of cages like these.
The United Nations says growing numbers of African migrants passing through Libya are being sold as slaves by traffickers or militia groups before being held for ransom. The UN's migration agency interviewed West African migrants who told of being bought and sold in garages and car parks in the southern city of Sabah, one of Libya's main migrant smuggling hubs.
Most of us are now fat.
IQ scores have been declining steadily for decades, and a new study says environmental factors are to blame.
You may believe that when you die, your organs will only be taken if you are a registered organ donor, and then will be given to those in need. But that's not always the case. When you die, the hospital must call an organ and tissue procurement company to report your death. This is the law, even if you haven't signed up to donate your organs. If you register to be a donor, the company can immediately harvest your organs and tissues. For registered donors, procurement companies don't need approval from a family member, and if family members disagree with the donation, they can't stop it. These companies say they view every person who dies as a potential donor of bones, skin, and other tissues. If you have not signed up as a donor, the company will ask your family members to allow them to harvest your body parts anyway. If the coroner or hospital can't find your family, the company can still harvest your organs and tissues. California law says that a hospital executive or the coroner can make you a donor if they can't find your next of kin after a 12-hour search. The tissues the companies want, including your skin, bones, veins, fat, and those tissues are worth a lot of money. A single body can supply the raw materials for products that sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That was over very quickly. We walked in, and as soon as we walked in, the men started covering their faces. But they clearly wanted to finish what they were doing, and they kept bringing out what they kept referring to in Arabic as abda, the merchandise. All in all, they admitted to us that there were 12 Nigerians that were sold in front of us. And I honestly don't know what to say. That was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Have you heard about people being auctioned off about migrants being sold?
Honestly, we hear the rumor, but there's nothing that's obvious in front of us. We don't have evidence.
But we now do. CNN has delivered this evidence to the Libyan authorities, who have promised to launch an investigation so that scenes like this are returned to the past.
It can be rough, but if we don't speak up for humans, who will? It's not like they can help themselves. They're pretty stupid. Okay, so why do you want to eat humans?
Don't worry about protein. Isn't human flesh the only way to get it?
No, there are actually a lot of easy ways.
Oh my god, you guys, what about human bacon?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better than waking up to the fresh smell of thick-cut human bacon.
Oh!
2/3 of adults are overweight or obese, and so are 1/4 of our kids. The strangulating mass of fat around our body organs.
I'm telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Alice last night, yesterday, who reportedly saw a man in a green hoodie turn into some type of reptile. And I wouldn't normally go with this. She doesn't look kind of schizophrenic, doesn't sound nuts, sounds generally freaked out. But some of the other people on board said they saw things.
In January of 1934, the Los Angeles Times reported a story about a mining engineer who had been testing for mineral deposits when he came across a pattern of underground tunnels in the shape of a lizard. The engineer located what he believed to be a large cache of gold tablets. The shaft was flooded with water and the city closed down the project before the engineer could bring his find into the light of day. But some believe these tablets told the history of the underground Mayan lizard people, reptilians come to Earth to infiltrate the human race.
Reptilians or reptoids are said to be races of intelligent creatures which come from extraterrestrial worlds or parallel dimensions. They live primarily underground or in caves and tunnels, that sort of thing. A common appearance described in the encounter literature is of a being 6 to 7 feet tall that walks upright like a human being.
So you're saying it's not a poltergeist?
Mr. Joseph saying that all shapeshifters owe allegiance to poltergeists.
The reptilian is not one of the alien types that's thought to be warm and cuddly, but it's more sinister, more beastly, if you will.
They seem to have great shape-shifting abilities.
Now, throughout time, there have been multiple variations of shapeshifters so subtle in their methods as to be undetectable by the untrained eye.
And we can speculate that they could take on any form through various means in order to disguise themselves.
When you say shapeshifter,
Reptilians have nothing on their minds so much as a worldwide conspiracy to take over the planet.
Shapeshifters require an enormous amount of sustenance to survive.
500 years of modern astronomy has taught us that the universe is not only enormous, with 10,000 billion stars that we can see in an even larger number of planets, but it's all made of the same stuff. The real estate out there in space is pretty much like the real estate right here on Earth. So if there's life here, well, why wouldn't there be life there? Physicist Stephen Hawking points out that every time a more advanced society meets a less advanced society, it usually doesn't work out so well for the less advanced society.
Seriously, really, I mean, the most pointless of all shapeshifters. The one commonality is that they all feed on lies and the chaos wrought by lies. The more lies, the more chaos they can create.
So why hang around this small town? Why not head for Washington, D.C., home of lies?
We can assume, since we're just hearing about this one now, that this beast has only recently arrived. Perhaps it has not had enough time to feed to leave the area yet. And you must stop it before it's able to grow in power. If you don't, I promise you the consequences will be catastrophic.
How catastrophic?
Historically, limitless.
I didn't climb my way to the top of the food chain not to eat humans. The Draco are here on this planet and they eat people. They control the government, churches, and media. They control all aspects of society and literally harvest humans from orphanages and the never-ending wars. Human trafficking is about eating people.
The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Human traffickers, you think of that as an ancient crime. It's not an ancient crime. It's more prevalent today in this world. Far beyond the United States. It's a world crime.
Excuse me, miss. Why are you dressed for laser tag?
Oh boy, you guys don't have any clue, do you? I'm here to stop the shapeshifters that are infiltrating your planet. I'm here to stop the shapeshifters that are infiltrating your planet.
That's what we look like to them, because this is all a computer simulation that basically was created long ago. Those planets out there are already conquered and simulated, which is why there's only us.
Is he okay? I just changed my mind. I think Drag is an alien. I think you're the alien. Well,
I am a shape-shifting lizard.
Okay, well,
now
anyway.
You're
getting encouraged, people. Well,
I am a shape-shifting lizard.
Okay, well, anyway. You're getting encouraged, people.
Or if they taste your DNA, you know, like, for example, if they drink your blood, then they can literally shapeshift into a creature that looks identical to, you know, whoever they're trying to mimic.
We've got two options. Sit here and watch your city burn to the ground, or surrender. You surrender, they'll enslave your people. And they'll take some of them as hosts.
Goa'uld are parasites. They take over the bodies of people.
You forget, Colonel, that I retain all the knowledge of my host. And he was well aware of your secret order.
Stop! Will you tell these fools I'm not crazy? Make them listen to me before it's too late!
Miles, where do they come from?
I don't know.
They come from another world, spawned in the light years of space, unleashed to take over the bodies and souls of the people of our planet.
Suddenly, while you're asleep, they'll absorb your minds, your memories.
I don't want any part of it.
Stop and listen to me! Listen! Listen to me! They're not human! Everyone! They're here already! You're next!
Yeah? What do you want?
We are here to enable your full potential, as we have with countless worlds across the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. How'd you manage that then?
We appropriate a small percentage of the population at 2,000 or so penetration points across the planet. This ensures maximum coverage. From there, we create simulants.
God, let me go! Shut up!
You're about to be harvested.
To spread our ideologies through peaceful indoctrination. Our objective is simple: to ready the population for participation in our galactic community. This method requires a small sacrifice.
Hi, Hi, we're the Illuminati.
Hi.
Hello, initiates, and welcome to Module 1 of the Illumicorp video training course. I would like to officially welcome you as a member of the team. Hi, we're the Illuminati.
We'll also need to film you in a lewd act with a minor, to use as blackmail if you ever think of telling anyone about anything that happened here today.
Now, could I self-tape that, or is that something you want me to shoot here? We'd like you to do that here.
Jeffrey Epstein was recently found dead in a New York jail cell. He'd been convicted on sex trafficking of underage girls. He was allegedly responsible for setting up politicians and important businessmen in compromising positions with underage girls to be used as a form of blackmail. This form of blackmail isn't new and has been being used since before the Kennedy administration.
Yeah, but before you can do a special on a major cable network, we're going to need you to sign some things. Okay, sounds good. We're also going to need you to swear a blood oath to us and our cause, and if you violate this oath, we're going to murder you and everyone that you love. Got it, great.
You'll also need to pledge your soul to Baphomet. He's this god that we all worship.
Okay. He looks pretty cool. He's like a crazy goat man kind of thing. Well, finally, we're going to need a suicide note in your own handwriting, just in case things get crazy. I actually might have an old one on me. I'm sort of a pack rat.
I think we're good. Trevor, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. Who killed Kennedy?
A French sniper, but it was set up by Lyndon Johnson.
Right, sorry, that's a stupid question. Are aliens real? Aliens are real. What are they like? You know, some are very cool, some are kind of shitty. We're pretty tight with the shitty ones.
What about the ones you replaced, like Peter and Oliver? Yeah. What happened to the empties?
I told you not to ask that.
Redundant vessels are recycled, mulched, and converted into fertilizer, whereupon they are returned to the earth to promote verdancy and growth. It is a highly efficient means of organic renewal.
Excrement and urine, where there was talk of human sacrifice.
Killing the people made him happy.
Sacrifices to please the devil. According to Teresa, the worst rituals took place at a house, somewhere in the country.
It was big, you know, expensive. From the front, it looked like a castle.
Let me get this right now. Are you saying that you saw more than one person killed in that house?
Yeah. I've seen loads of babies killed there. Just newborn babies. Or aborted ones, which are only small. You know, 4-year-olds. Any age, really.
Of course, now we know that graves have been discovered at 2 schools so far. Do you think that this means there are more graves that have yet to be discovered?
Well, it absolutely does. And one of the things that's very important to know is that in Canada, we had our Truth and Reconciliation Commission because there were still 80,000 living survivors of the residential schools at the time. And they took the government and the 4 national churches who ran the schools to court over the harms that they had experienced as children. And during our work, we had our commission function for 6.5 years. We recorded thousands of statements, and many of those talked about children who had died at the schools, things that they had witnessed by way of extreme abuses, children who had disappeared, in some cases, graves that they had been compelled to help dig. So we already knew that there were many deaths in schools. And indeed, our work, even though our mandate did not include missing or lost children, we did it anyway because it kept coming up in the statements we were receiving from the survivors. And so we had already recorded 3,200 children who died in the schools, and we were aware of 1,000 others.
Give me the baby, give me the baby, yummy, 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 give me the baby. I want the baby, I eat the baby, yummy, 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 give me the baby. I want to eat the baby.
But now it's all out in the open. Planetary world government that wants to depopulate us, cashless societies, takeovers of our bodies with nanotech and electromagnetic radiation, open Satanism. I was just in Omaha to see my wife's father was in the hospital. He had a gay pride parade come by the hotel. They were wearing Satan shirts. I got photos of it, showed you, saying that we're going to get your children. I mean, this is just so crazy. It just goes on and on and on.
If it's not your classic villain, what is its endgame? To continue to consume?
That is its life force. Shapeshifter is a trickster god of sorts, very heavy in Native American lore, probably what you're dealing with there, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Their game is simple, fun. They're entertained by chaos and destruction in Saturday morning cartoons.
Is there a network of these satanic murderers in this country, do you allege?
Based on information furnished to me by confidential sources and informants, based on interviews with dozens of survivors from the satanic operations through the years, satanic beliefs, etc., I can say that there is a network of these people across the country.
IQ scores have been declining steadily for decades, and a new study says environmental factors are to blame. Researchers analyzed the IQ scores of Norwegian men born between 1962 and 1991. Findings show scores fell for those born after 1975. Similar studies in Denmark, Britain, France, the Netherlands, Finland, and Estonia all show similar trends. Now, researchers have long used genes to explain variations in intelligence, but this new study points to possible environmental factors like
sodium fluoride. Fluoride is an industrial waste chemical.
Increased levels of fluoride exposure during pregnancy are associated with declines of IQ in children.
Turns out the stuff in common tap water happens to be a sister compound to sodium fluoroacetate, a common form of rat poison.
Fluoride in water is supposed to fight tooth decay, but could it also cause cancer?
According to studies by the Case Institute, the byproduct of phosphate mining, in which they make fertilizer and laundry detergent, is liquid fluoride. So toxic it costs $7,000 a barrel to bury.
The study assesses more than 500 child and mother pairs. It finds for every 1 milligram per liter average increase in fluoride intake by a mother, there was a 3.7 drop in the child's IQ.
One of the first things I did, of course, I gave out lots of free toothpaste. I started reading the label on it. Keep out of the reach of children under 6 years of age. Okay, that sounds reasonable. And adults apply a pea-sized amount and contact the Poison Control Center if you swallow. Well, that, in the research literature, works out to 1/4 milligram of fluoride. This water here happens to be Chicago water out of the faucet. This contains 1/4 milligram of fluoride. There seems to be a disconnect with me there. Okay, they tell me not to swallow 1/4 milligram of fluoride in my toothpaste, but they're forcing me to swallow 1/4 milligram in 1 glass of water.
He says, do you have any idea what you're saying? And he says, you're telling us that we're reducing the IQ of children. And basically I said, yes.
How does big business get away with dumping this toxic glunk into our city water? Turns out the federal government subsidizes it by giving block grants of up to $100,000 for cities to start adding fluoride to their tap water.
We're developing a society because of all of these different toxins known to affect brain function. We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent, and we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.
And welcome back to Quill's
Tonight, I am Quailzer, the interrogator. Gaborkilax, what would you say to Zarnaps who think that humans are a lower life form? They don't even understand a basic interstellar travel, and those things they call hoverboards, they don't even hover.
Well, I think I would say...
Well, this is ridiculous. The notion that we should stop eating humans, experimenting on them, using the one they call carrot top in our traveling shows, is ludicrous. Humans are stupid animals.
Excuse me. If we took an IQ test right now, and I tested above you, would that give me the right to eat you? Or to use you in whatever way I please? Of course not. And it doesn't give us the right to abuse humans. The question isn't how smart they are. We all know that humans are far, far less intelligent than any other species in the galaxy. The question is, are they suffering? There can be no doubt that, yes, they are. And we are making them suffer. And we can stop it. Today. When future Zarnap generations look back at us, do we want them to see us as heartless? Or do we want them to see us as having the 3 hearts we know each Zarnap has? Because when Zarnaps really take a second and think about it, they realize that abusing humans is wrong. Just like it would be for any other species.
Huh. Yes.
Just like any other species.
What does the ET look like? Does it have arms? Does it have legs?
Yeah, arms,
fingers,
legs.
eyes?
The head is covered with a towel. Apparently, it was badly mutilated. It had a weird, almost like a spine on the front, like we have a sternum that you could see, like a bumpy thing. Different hands and feet.